back to our channel.
Welcome back.
So in this video we're together again. In the previous video we had to do like the videos individually because one was busy or one wasn't there, but yeah, in this one we're together because today we'll be talking about the different cultures. The differences between the Nigerian culture and the German culture. Yeah. If you're Nigerian or if you're German, you already know what we want to talk about, but we hope that this video is informative but also entertaining, fun.
Yeah.
So
Nigeria meets Germany. That's basically what it's all about.
Nigeria meets Germany.
Or Germany meets Nigeria,
Okay.
however you want to call it.
Yeah. So what's the first thing on our list?
So the first thing is how we greet each other.
Very important.
In German or in Nigeria, there's a big difference.
So you want to tell them how we greet,
like
or how you greet in Germany?
In Germany, you even say to older people, of course you say "sie," you. Like there's a formal version how you say you. You allowed to say how are you or how are they, basically. That's the old English version. More formal. So every single person or people that are older, you basically need to be more formal and more nicer. And yeah, you just ask them how are you, hi. Funny is that you don't greet everybody on the streets. You don't do that. You don't. I mean, we live now close to a bigger city. People are not really. Yeah, we're not in that habit where we greet everybody. Yeah.
The thing basically is you have two forms of you in German. You have du and you have sie. And sie is the formal way. And you use that for people that you don't know, or
so that's
people.
The formal die,
yeah,
in English.
So all the people that are a bit older. It's not very compulsory for you to greet. You can greet if you want to. It's not like something that you must do. Yeah.
But it is.
It is polite.
Polite, exactly.
Yeah.
So
in Nigeria, it's a whole other story. If you do not greet, you're actually seen as disrespectful. So greeting is part of the culture. Like you can't see an elderly person pass you by without you saying good morning or good afternoon or good evening. And another thing is this: you do not ask people that are older than you, how are you? So only those that are older ask those that are younger, how are you? So if you ask people that are older, how are you, in their mind they will think, who are you asking how are you? So now we have become mates now, you are asking me how are you. So
never, ever do that.
So you're allowed to greet and say good morning or good morning sir, good morning ma, but you never ask people that are older than you how are you. They respond by saying, good morning my brother, or if you're a lady, good morning my sister, how are you? Or in pidgin English, how you dey? And then you answer, I dey fine. Or you just say, I dey oh. And that's another thing we're going to talk about. How in Nigeria we add oh.
Oh, good oh. It's a good day oh. I'm working oh.
We add oh to everything. So if you want to be fluent in Nigerian, I mean there's no such thing, but if you want to be fluent in Nigerian, when you speak English, just add oh to everything.
Oh. In Germany, we don't have that.
No, you don't have that.
We have that maybe that we use another word to make it more...
To emphasize the word.
To emphasize the word, exactly. We don't have like, how are you to say...
Yeah, so for example, you instead of saying I am coming, you say I am coming oh. Or I am fine. You have to say I am fine oh. So just add oh to any sentence.
And it will make more important.
And you become a Nigerian. And we have other expressions like
Or
yeah, that's very important. When somebody does this, yeah, that's like saying that whatever you're saying is probably rubbish, or it's just another way of insulting the person without saying any word. And we have that a lot in Nigeria. We have a lot of expressions that is insulting without words.
Funny is that I'm now doing that more than him, actually.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I even do that at work, and people are like, what are you doing? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
We don't do that in Germany. So it's really funny because I adapted to some of the things.
Yeah.
Like easing, that's how you say it.
Yeah. That.
So I do that.
She does that very often. She does that even more than me. I hardly do that. I can't even remember when I did that last. But she does it. She does. I'm like, my friend, what did you learn? So now you've become more Nigerian than me, yeah?
I'm telling
You see what she's saying? She's like, She's using all these expressions that I do not normally use, and she uses that more than me. So, and people say that she's becoming more Nigerian than me because, you know, the way she cooks and the way she talks, sometimes it's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that is really funny that I came to know or realize in the Nigerian culture is that people, when they love each other, they assault each other.
Oh yeah.
So it's normal to say, you idiot, or you foolish goat, or things like this. It's like really common. If you would do that in Germany, people would look at you and would say, I call the police.
Yeah.
This is insult.
This
Like,
abuse.
As abuse, you don't do that, even to your child. You don't. If you would do that on the street, you get in trouble.
You see? Now, whatever she says, now she's like, she makes that expression even without thinking about it. So yeah, insult, in the Nigerian culture, insult is like when you get to know somebody and you get very close, one of the signs or one of the love languages is to insult you.
Mm-hmm.
So we grew up taking insults. So most Nigerians have like thick skins. Like you can hardly, break a Nigerian because of how you insult them or whatever. Because, for example, you're growing up and people will just call you, look at this useless non-entity. Look at this foolish goat. First of all,
foolish goat.
Calling somebody a goat is bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then you make it foolish goat. Then you don't even know what to do with yourself anymore. And normally when two friends that have not seen each other for a very long time, when they meet each other again, they start by greeting themselves, by insulting themselves. See this mumu? So you see they're alive. So they start by actually insulting themselves. Look at this idiot. So we have different...
No, that doesn't work in Germany.
Don't do that in Germany.
Don't do that in Germany. In Germany, we are friendly, we go to each other, we're formal, we go there, hey, how are you? It's nice to see you, blah, 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 small talk, But also, one thing that is interesting is that in Germany, once you really got to know somebody and you really broke through the heart cover, you really a friend and you become a friend of a lifetime. So Germany is really, it's hard to get friends, but once you have friends, you have them.
Yeah.
And that's similar to Nigeria actually, because for me, when we went to church, hey, I had to fight. Man, I had to fight to get friends.
So most Nigerians, when you meet them for the first time, they have a lot of attitude. They
observe, they have attitude,
We grew up with that, so we have to have that attitude. And sometimes it looks like arrogance or pride, but they're just checking you out. And most times they don't really smile at you or try to come close to you at first, because they're trying to find out if you're a person that they can make friends with. But when you become friends with them, you actually have real friends, people that will be there for you when you really need them. Because we're quite friendly, it's a quite friendly culture. We smile at each other and we genuinely like each other. And we don't find it difficult to build friendship or to come closer to each other. But it's quite different in Germany. It's quite harder to make friends. But when you do make friends, like she said, they last longer. And that's a good thing. So in case you have a Nigerian friend that insults you all the time, just know that the person loves you with all their heart.
Oh yeah.
It is just their love language, the way of telling you, hey, I love you. So they can call you, look at this idiot, look at this mumu, this foolish goat, this bonga fish, this non-entity. Sometimes they can even go so far to call you bastard. Bastard! And can you imagine when your mom looks at you and calls you bastard? And in your mind you are saying, but you're my mom, and I know my dad, so what is this bastard thing? They don't really mean that, they don't mean it. It's just a way of expressing themselves. And so, if you hear that, do not be shocked. Don't be shocked by it.
Don't be upset.
Don't be upset. I mean, if you're uncomfortable with it, you can tell them I'm uncomfortable with it. and they won't do that anymore. But the moment they stop doing that, then you have to know that your closeness is not very...
It's close.
You're not as close as you thought or as you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the next thing on our list?
So, like, facial expression is also something that I think is really interesting, because in Germany, German people have just one face expression mostly. It's like being annoyed mostly, having a really strict face. That's the normal standard facial expression they have for everything. And I came to realize that actually facial expression, I can't speak today, I'm sorry, and observing is a really, really strong part of, in growing up actually in Nigeria. Like the first things I had to learn is to observe. We don't observe that much in Germany. We never learned to look at our mom and by how she looked at us and how she had her facial expression. Yeah, we didn't know that, because she would be loud and talk and scream and yell at us. That's why when you go on a playground in Germany, you see moms yelling and whatever. But that will not happen in Nigeria.
Oh yeah, it's quite different. Oh yeah. Growing up, I don't know how it is now, because things are changing.
Oh yeah. Feminism
but growing up as a kid, we learned to read our parents' faces, especially our moms, in public, because they don't want to embarrass themselves in public, so they don't scream or talk too much. You just read their face in public.
It's amazing, actually.
Yeah, you read their face in public, and from their face you can tell your whole life story. You can tell it. If you do not pay attention to their face, when you get home, let's just say you will have to pay attention to something else when you get home. Because on their face, they tell you, you read whatever you need to know from their face. For example, if you're playing or misbehaving in public, and your mom looks at you or calls your name and is like, Michael! And you look at your mom's face and she goes like this. Just know that you have two options.
Oh yeah, run.
Stop playing or play for the last time in your life and die. Because, yeah, just look at the face and just, know what you have to do. So most kids know when they look at their mom's face and their mom goes like this. They just stop playing, they just withdraw, and they just come and sit very close to the mother, because they know that is the safest place to be at that time. And another thing is this. Let's say you go and visit friends, or your mom takes you and you go visit friends, because most times kids go with their moms everywhere. So, unless somebody asks you, are you hungry? Do you want to eat something? Before you say yes or no, you have to look at your mom's face. Because from her face, you will get the answer. She's almost like the Holy Spirit. She will tell you what to say without saying anything. So you look at her face and she inspires you to know what to say. So, if she goes, you can say, oh yes, I'm hungry. I would like to eat something. But from her face, you can also know if you should say no. But even when she allows you to say yes and the food comes, do not rush the food.
Oh, never. Never.
Do not rush it, because it makes it look like you have no food at home, or you've not eaten in a very long time. So you eat it slowly. You act as if you are full, very full, but you're just trying to quench the hunger that could come in the future. So that's how it is, when it comes to facial expression and reading your parents' faces and knowing what to do even before they say a word. Because it is better to read that than to take the slap that comes after.
No.
And we'll talk about the discipline also.
Discipline is different here, as you probably could hear a little bit Adam's husband's way of how he talked about his mother. I think it's different here, and it also changed during the years. I also grew up with, having a little slap on the butt or a little slap on my hands, never in my face, but on my hands or my butt, and it would discipline us. But if I would talk about these things now, I actually had a few conversations about that, people would get shocked. Actually, nowadays you can get how do you say that? Somebody can call the police.
Yeah, you can get a fine.
You can get a fine. You can get arrested for it.
If you spank your kids in Germany, or if you do anything physical, and like trying to discipline your kids in a physical way, you could get into trouble for that. Yeah. If
it's like too harsh and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, I think it's different.
It's quite different. Okay.
It's more old school.
I mean, of course, things are changing, like I said, but getting spanked, that was like part of the daily routine. Even at school, you know, we had that growing up. I believe that in some places it was done to the extreme. Just like people are doing things here in Germany also in the extreme direction, where some kids are not being disciplined, and so they grow up becoming so stubborn, arrogant, disrespectful, and so I think it's good for us to find the balance, you know, between a strong discipline and also the freedom you give your kids to express themselves or who they are without having to punish every single thing they do.
Which is going to be really, or is still a conversation that we're having when some time arrives when we're going to have kids.
When you have a kid. So it's a very serious topic that we're like, okay, how do we blend both our cultures together in raising up well-behaved, disciplined, and not abused children?
Yeah, and also like part of the cultures, we want to have it in a godly way. We want to have a relationship with our children. We want to have, you know, we want to be honest, co-parents, not just parents, but also having a impact on their lives and being an inspiration for them. So I think it's hard, but it's good to talk about these topics, and it's good to tell people that it's different in different cultures.
It is different. Like, I mean, while I was growing up, I took some spanking in my life, and the truth is
a naughty boy. I'm telling you.
And the truth is this: spanking became so normal that it was almost things that you would brag about, like. You get spanked, but it didn't really change you. It didn't stop you from doing whatever you wanted to do. It just taught you how to not get caught the next time. So you would do everything possible to avoid being caught, including lying, or like, you know, your friends having to lie for you to defend you, you know, in that case. So like kids will always be naughty, or there are always things that make them want to misbehave or not misbehave. And we're not saying that you'll be able to fix all the problems by, you know, disciplining them, but at least you can show them the right way to go. And it's also important that you give them grace, you know, when they misbehave sometimes. And also we are very, we believe in Jesus, we have a walk with Jesus. And so we believe also in showing them how to walk like Jesus, you know, practically by being an example and also showing them how it is in the Bible. So we believe that when we combine all this together, you know, they can be who God has called them to be. It doesn't mean that they will not make mistakes, but when we show them how they should walk, you know, they learn to walk in that path even when they have left the house.
Yeah, that's been told.
Do we have any other thing on the list?
I think it's important to tell them about food, wedding, parties.
Oh yeah.
It's
my goodness.
Different. I'm telling you, people, I love parties.
How's the party here in Germany?
But German parties and German weddings, I'm sorry, people, for those who maybe are Germans and friends, some of the viewers, I would not prefer them compared to Nigerian weddings and parties. Just the fact that people don't know how to dance and to have fun and to eat. You will get food at European weddings that is so little that you feel like you could eat a whole burger, chicken by yourself, maybe even a steak after a wedding. So basically you get no food at weddings. But when you go to Nigerian parties, Make sure you have not eaten for a long time, because you will go there, eat, and then they will pack and wrap something in for you to bring home.
Yeah.
Every single time we went there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like in German weddings, you only go based on invitation.
Oh yeah.
If you go there without being invited, that's very rude. Like, who are you?
That's
Like,
trouble.
seriously, you can't get
yeah,
in. No,
you don't do that.
you don't do that. But in Nigeria, first of all, the invitation card, it is a formality.
Yeah, you do that.
You do that just because the people that you know, you don't want them to be offended and say you did not invite me.
Yeah.
You know, so you just do that for those that you know and those that are connected to you.
Yeah. Let's plan.
But
if you do that, if you, for example, have an invitation for like 100 people, you invited 100 people, just make sure you have enough room for at least 300 to 400 people.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Very important. The people that you invited are just half or maybe a quarter of those that will come. So people that don't know you from nowhere will show up. The friends of friends of friends will appear. So if you invited 100, like she said, get ready for 500 or 400. So make sure that you have enough food for everybody. And you can't chase nobody from a wedding and be like, hey, you were not invited. What is that? What do you mean I was not invited? When did that one start? Now we are coming on invitation. What? My friend, if you don't come up from here, so you can't stop them. You know, they will show up. You know, and there's a lot of dancing. Oh my goodness, it's like a real party, like dancing, eating, celebration.
Yeah.
And you're gonna meet people that you never knew that, you know, people who knew you that you never knew about. They just show up from nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
And you can ask them, how do you know the bride, or how do you know the groom? And they'll be like, I don't know them. I just hear that there was a party here, so I just came.
I just entered.
I just showed up. So they come and they dance and they eat, and sometimes they're the ones that will complain that the food is not enough. People that you did not invite are the ones that will be saying, where's my food now? Waiter, my friend, what do you mean by waiter? You are a wedding and you're calling them waiter. So they demand for it, and they were not even invited. And it's part of the
culture.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
And they eat and they begin to bless you and say, my friend. They call you my friend. They don't know you from nowhere. My friend, and may God bless you. May God bless your marriage. May God give you children. That's another thing. You know, it's normal for them to pray for kids for you, even before you're done with the wedding.
Once you're married,
they begin to bless
you. Prepared. Even on that evening, on your marriage day,
your wedding evening,
people will call you, people will write you, people will text you, people will talk to you and ask you, that you're married, now that you're married, let's talk about kids. Let's talk about children. I want to have children.
I want to have grandchildren. When am I going to see my grandchildren?
I don't want to be old. I don't want to be in a casket. I had to hear all these things, and I'm telling you people, this is the real deal.
But thank God she didn't have to hear that from my mom, because my mom is very lovely and understanding. So
I love
but from the people around us, even people that were not even like directly connected to us, will be asking, so when are you guys giving birth, or when are we expecting the children? And my friend, what do you mean when are we?
Leave us alone.
I'm telling you. Once you get married, they begin to ask you, so when are we? First of all, when you're single, they ask you, so when are you getting married? My friend, you're getting older. When are you getting married? Mm-hmm. And then when you get married, the next question, that same day, so when are we getting the children?
Oh, that would never happen actually in Germany. Never.
Yeah, you don't do that.
People like, you getting married so soon? Really?
Oh yeah.
Really? And then when you maybe think about or even talk a little bit about children, like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to
study or do other things. Are you sure you want to have kids?
Did you traveled enough together as a couple? You need to, engage and have fun as a couple, and it's
Yeah.
so different.
It's a different,
it's like two different,
it's like opposites, you know.
really cold.
They're like asking you if you're ready, you know, like almost like you're about to do something that's going to destroy your life, you know.
Yes.
I mean, of course, it's something that you need to do after you've put a lot of thought in it.
Yeah.
But like, there's this extreme when you're like, oh, like, are you sure you want to do that? You know, that kind of stuff.
So it's like different cultures.
It's quite, yeah, it's crazy. It's quite different, you know. And I wanted to say something about the,
I don't know.
the kids things, like how people ask you, what was that I wanted to say?
I don't know what you wanted to say.
It was in my mind and you just lost it. Oh wait, we got a cut, but anyway.
Food? No, I don't know.
We're talking about the culture and how they talk about marriage
Kids?
and kids.
Did I ask you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and also,
I was yawning and you started talking.
okay, that's good.
Oh, my scalp is hurting me.
And also, it's very common to do birth control in Germany. It's like normal, you know. So you choose when you want to have kids, and when you don't want to have kids, you just stop it. You can wait as long as you want, you know. Of course, in Nigeria, people also do birth control, but it's not very common. You know, once you get married, people get their first child in the first year of getting married. So when your parents or when your family members call you and ask you, so what is happening now? So when are we seeing the children? Let's say the first year, nothing happened. They won't say anything. The second year, nothing happened. The third year, they begin to call you, my son, my brother, is there a problem? Should we begin to pray for you, or should we go to our pastor? And what's happening? When are we expecting? You're like, oh no, auntie, we're just trying to wait for the right time. You say, which one is the right time again? So you want me to die first before the grandchildren will come? Which right time? You're married. You have been there 3 years. When is the right time going to come? Are you waiting for Angel to come and put the baby inside? What are you doing? Say, no. We're actually waiting and preparing. Yeah, preparing what? Is it food? What are you preparing? You just go and have a baby, you say prepare. Because they don't understand what it means to not have children. Because for them it's like normal. Like you get married and you have children.
Yeah, the thing is, I love that. I love that culture because it's so... Children are not a burden.
Oh no.
Children are not a burden. I think our culture in our generation needs to know that children are not burden.
They're gifts.
They're gifts. They're a blessing
God.
to life. Of course, there's some restriction if you get a child. You can't go and party every Saturday or every Friday. But you can still go and travel. Of course, it will cost a little more maybe here and there. Or it will be more, exhausting. But it's not that nothing is possible anymore once you have a child. So...
Yeah, so...
That was it. That was our comparison between Nigeria and Germany.
Yeah, we have more things to talk about, but we're going to just keep it and...
let us know what you want to hear from us as well.
For the next video, yeah.
In the comment below. Subscribe, hit the like button, hit on the notification.
Yeah, so you're notified every time we post a video.
Yes.
And just ask us questions,
Wednesday.
whatever you want. Yeah, whatever you want to know. Every Wednesday we post videos.
Yeah. Every Wednesday there's a new video coming up. And also a big thank you for all the subscribers right now.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you. We're really thankful for liking and for watching our videos and being interested in our lives as well.
Yeah.
Please be interested in your lives, so just share what you would like to hear from us.
Yes, have a wonderful week and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.